All right, I'm here. I was running around at the last minute to see if I had brought my travel bell, and I did not bring my travel bell. So we'll skip that. And then this is not hashtag ad, but I think I might be able to use um I think I might be able to use Insight Timer's bell. So that will be my um backup bell. Hopefully you can hear me. I haven't seen anybody say that you can hear me. I didn't ask, I guess. Um, so let's see. Hopefully I see indications that okay, good. Thank you. Bonjour Paul. Hello Saban. Hey there, Ruth and Bill B. Let's see, Gabrielle. And did I see Mike G? No, I didn't. Okay. All right. Hey Dre. Uh all right. So um problem solving here. So I think I'll be able to let's all right. Think you can hear that? Maybe? Okay. Sounds like it. All right. So cool. Well, we'll do that. If you've ever sat with oh wow, the light seems to be flickering. Hopefully we're not doing anything too long throwback. I don't remember folks remember Jeff and Sarah. This may have been gosh, was this before Eden was born? There was one do nothing project where there was a fan and a mirror behind Jeff and a light, and it was like strobing, and it was like totally the kind of light stimulus that might cause somebody to have a seizure. Um, and we didn't plan the layout beforehand, and it was when Jeff was in Costa Rica. Anyway, I just saw the light in here as a little flashing as I move. When I move my hands, the light meter seems to change. Maybe I won't move my hands. um, all right. So yeah, the messaging on the phone is tough. I can tell you from experience. So hopefully everyone had a merry or happy holidays. All of the things. I don't know if which day of Hanukkah today is, but I haven't figured this out, but I don't remember Hanukkah and Christmas overlapping like this very often. So I assume that um oh okay, so it's day 1. Okay. All right. So for some reason I thought it was like day 3. Interesting. Um but yeah, so I'm not used to the overlapping like that, so that's interesting. I think that I wonder if that means that Hanukkah is based on a lunar calendar as well. So for the folks that are on the edge of Buddhism, the big Buddhist holiday was for December is 17 days ago, and that was Rohatsu Sesshin, or Rohatsu, which I believe means like something to the effect of eighth day of 12th month or something like that. Um, so at least for the Mahayana um, variants of Buddhism, they celebrate the Buddha's enlightenment uh, during Rohatsu, which is at the beginning. It's always at the beginning of December. So you'll see a lot of the Zen centers, at least here in the Western United States, the Zen centers will have a Rohatsu Sesshin, so an intensive that starts on the 1st of December and then runs to the 8th. And then I think Vesic is in May. So somewhere I have a PDF Buddhist holidays calendar. Um, and then I'm maybe not a closet Bhutan fan, but I very much like Bhutan, and Bhutan's National Day. Their 117th National Day celebration was, I want to say, 8 days ago, somewhere in that frame. So anyway, there's your Buddhist edition of Happy Holidays for what's available to you in December. So what to expect for today? Today is maybe we can consider this like the a restful exhale. You've made it. Yes, Saban, it would be great to move to Bhutan. Other than it being very difficult to make it back into the rest of the world very quickly, Bhutan has like a very small airport in Paro, and I think they only have like 4 gates, and they don't have a lot of flights in and out, so that would be a challenge. But yeah, Bhutan, I would be if I were to pick places to move, Bhutan would be at the top of my list. So yeah, then maybe that's an advantage, right? So for me, at least, um, for family, I had or sort of half of my reason for not living in a foreign country is gone. But yeah, so like that can be difficult to get places when you have things come up for family. So, but you can always kind of plan around most of those things. But yeah, so without further ado, we've already burned 7 minutes. So hopefully, one, if you're watching the recording, thank you for checking out the recording. Um, what's our sort of promise for the video is 25-minute meditation that may or may not be restful. Hopefully, it is an opportunity for you to kind of tune your nervous system into what's going on and like what's available, and then working with that from a standpoint. So we'll have a 25-minute sit. I'll guide in the first about 2 to 3 minutes just to kind of settle in as a pretty stable. It's my own checklist for when I sit on my own. So I start with my posture. I check kind of what's already here, what's available, or what's already present. Jeff Warren uses the kind of welcome to the party, like what's already here, and then deliberate breaths, and then we'll do. Um, Today we'll basically look at working with a home base and, if available, restful sensations. And then the last 5 minutes, excuse me, last 5 minutes we'll let go of all our technique and just do nothing. So that's the plan. All right. And then if you have questions or reports or anything else, you can put those in chat, and we very much appreciate that. So and then I'm gonna use my phone. Again, not a hashtag ad, but this is the bell from Insight Timer. All right. So our impromptu bell gives us an opportunity to signal the formal period of meditation, and then really just sort of starting with your posture from the feet up. I'm going to focus on the seated posture, either on a cushion or a bench or on a chair, but you could be lying down, totally valid. You could be walking, could be standing. If you're standing, just see if you can avoid locking your knees. So one little bit, just seeing if you can have a little bit of a loose or suppleness to your knees when you're standing. And then really just an upright without being uptight posture. A reminder that we not sort of we sit with our skeleton, not with our muscles. And then really just a quick sort of survey of like, hey, what's here, right? So my sensors in my ring told me that I'm having a more stressful day than usual. So, maybe you're having a more stressful holiday day. Maybe you're having a different sort of holiday day. Whatever it is, just a nod to what's already here. So we're not chasing it away, just an acknowledgement. And then a few deliberate breaths, breathing in through the nose, and breathing out through the nose. Slow and low is the tempo that we're going for. Breathing in through the breathing in through the nose allows us to breathe low into the belly, and then seeing if we can extend the exhale. So when we breathe back out, just seeing if we can accentuate or extend that exhale. So in general, in meditation, we're not trying to change how things are, but breathing techniques are one way to sort of move us a little bit closer to a calm and settled state. Not a guarantee, but can shift us incrementally in that direction. And then I'll just sort of offer the notion of having a home base that maybe is sensations in the body for you, or maybe that's sounds. So, no clock today since I'm in Phoenix, but either of those options be a home base for us. What do we mean by that? When we notice our attention has wandered away, we bring it back to our home base. And then the last wrinkle I will offer before I let you explore on your own is when there is the potential for a restful quality to be noticed, just sort of indulging in that. So, from a bodily rest, there's that notion of being able to kind of sit down after you've been running around or moving things or doing chores. There's a little bit of that release. So, that's what we're talking about. So, again, not always present. And if it's there, we can just notice that just like we can anything else. Soak our attention in. And then you can optionally use the label rest. All right, that is it. I'll let you explore on your own and chime in here in a little bit. just a reminder that if you kind of feel like you're getting distracted often, just seeing if you can tune up your posture a little bit. It's surprising how often the kind of mind will follow the body when the body is out of alignment. And then if you're still looking for some feel rest, you may notice some restful sensations around body movement. So you may notice restful sensations around the breath, maybe near the rib cage. Excuse me. And last little thing, maybe even if you're looking for a bit of a release, just kind of a few sort of, they call them cyclic sighs, where you breathe in halfway, breathe all the way in, and then let everything out. Breathe out of the mouth. And again, in general, we don't usually control or manipulate the breath when meditating, but just seeing if we can trigger a bit of rest. And everything else is going well, then that's excellent to hear. I'll let you keep on keeping on. And here's your cue. If you're feeling like you're in a groove with your current practice, then you can go ahead and ignore me and keep on going. But this is our opportunity to let go of our technique and shift into do nothing. And in do nothing, we're really sitting with this natural knowing that we're sitting. And then when we notice that we're trying to micromanage our experience or make things happen, we let go of that and just kind of keep letting go back to just sitting. if I can get the impromptu app to work for us. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for making time to sit for 25 minutes with the community and hang out at the beginning. Appreciate that very much. And I think some of you had heard, Jeff's planning on being your guide for Sunday. That will be the 29th. I think there's a possibility that I'm going to be somewhere on Bureau of Land Management land at that time. So I think I'm gonna have to, now that I think about it, have to figure out some way to get that covered. But yeah. So hope everyone is having a good and as restful as possible holiday week. Oh, did it scare? Oh, it scared the cat. I forgot Paul to. Usually, I've been trying to audibly announce before I ring the bell, and I was too too goofing around with trying to make the app actually do it. So sorry to startle the kitty. Yeah, so New Year's rapidly approaching. I think there is the distinct possibility that I won't be doing. Part of the reason I want to do tonight is because I won't be doing one New Year's Day. So I think that is, unless we move things around, I think I will be not able to do it on New Year's Day, which I don't feel as bad about because I think CEC usually doesn't do anything on the New Year's Day or that week as well. So I feel like that's somewhat a Sangha practice. But so right now, right, looks like I'm not going to do that. For some reason, that changes. I will send out an email regardless. The email will be, "Hey, there's no there's no sit on Wednesday, just so you know." And then on the off chance that it works out, I'll mention that too. So if you aren't on the mailing list, I think everybody here is. Not that I have the mailing list memorized, but I think everybody here is. If you aren't for some reason on the mailing list and you want to be on the mailing list, you can add yourself to the email address that's in chat. And then thank you to everybody that made it. I think Ruth had to step aside with folks coming over. So, and then I didn't plug my computer in, so I had a brief moment of panic during the sit of like, oh, I hope that we have enough battery life. So we're at 15%, so not that bad. But yeah. So and then uh, no news on any of the things that I had kind of said might happen. If I have news, I'll share that. But there was, yes, you definitely can set aside time to sit. I finished Seth Godin's book called The Practice, and there's this interesting nuance in the book, and I don't know that I totally understand it, but of in creating a practice, you find your own process. And I've been meaning to try to bug Jeff about this to see what Jeff thinks about the difference between practice and process, because Jeff is really keen on trying to find these nuggets of places where people have practices that sort of interlock in their general lives. Um, and Jeff has a great saying that I've heard him say on retreat, where it's like every nervous system is a lineage of one. So finding, and that maybe it is, Paul, to like kind of there's a path from practice to process, but the notion, I thought it was a really interesting notion of being able to put your stamp on the practice through whatever your process is. Like these two things are like interplaying. So that I think is kind of an interesting thing. And then there was a suggestion or two about seeing if we might be able to get together on Zoom in January, just as a notion from a support discussion, kind of what's coming up in practice. January is kind of a tough month in that everybody feels like you have to do your best you know, like the be your best you and restart and do all of the things you think you're going to do. So I think there's some opportunity to kind of get all together and be like, yeah, that's a good idea, but like, no, or at least kind of talk about how that comes up. And I think there, you know, is it's a way to explore, you know, do I really want accountability or am I doing good in the way that things are coming up? So yeah, I would agree, Paul, that really we can drop that notion. And then toying around with trying to do some some guidances around March. So like kind of the working title is A March Towards More Mindfulness. Um, Puns intended, I guess. But Ruth's not here to laugh at my bad pun. But the notion in that I see it as, you know, there's so much support around maybe January. If you've noticed, Sharon Salzberg will do a month of February for our Sharon Salzberg's meditation courses that she does for accountability is in February. It's 28 days, so or usually 28 days. Uh, and so that and March is sort of like distant enough from the beginning of the new year with all the new year talk and everything that it feels like it might be a good time for something like that. So putting it out there, I'm not it's not a promise, but it's a real good chance that I may do something around a little more structure on sort of onboarding from like a walking meditation towards a more a more encompassing of mindfulness approach. So yeah, and it's not yet summer. And so yeah, I've been playing around with that. 31 days. So yeah. All right. Well, we're 6 minutes or no, we're 4 minutes from the top of the hour. So we haven't gone into the top of the hour. So that's always a good thing. I know I've talked too much if I get into the top of the hour. Um, And again, thank you for everyone for tuning in live. I really appreciate it. And you're super welcome. I saw a couple folks saying that they appreciated having a structured sit for today. And so you're super, super welcome. Um, I know I was not the model of calm today. So I, I benefited from it. I benefited from knowing this was here much, much more than you imagine. So, or might imagine. But yeah, and then super happy. Or and if I don't see, which I may not see folks on Sunday, well, virtually see them on Sunday. Happy New Year. And then again, I'll get something out that'll be like, hey, we're not having a sit on the first. So, all right, bye now.